everybody, and welcome to the Business Shower Podcast, a podcast for business owners to shine. Today, we have a very special episode. It's the Valentine's Day episode. And today, I am here with my handsome husband, Terrell Edwards, and my business partner. Okay? So, hi, honey. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
You pretty good? Did you enjoy breakfast this morning?
Oh yes, it was very soul food type contact. Like, I loved it. I loved the eggs and the sausages and French toast. It was.
I'll place it down, y'all. I'll place it down. All right. So, tell our listeners why you decided to come up here and speak with your wife today.
Oh, I decided definitely support her on her travels and her business endeavors, her entrepreneurship. Decided to definitely put my mix into the whole entire scenario, and then we can actually build this Edwards franchise into something bigger and better, and to eventually, make this more worldwide, make us more of, how can I put it, more of an example of what like a black American couple should be. So like family, two husband and wife connecting together, especially in this turbulent time we have right now in America. So especially with like Black Lives Matter coming around, it's definitely positive to see Black women and Black men actually joining together and actually having a fusion of like prosperity, generational wealth, and actually sticking together until death do us part. So definitely positive example to show in social media.
Exactly. Big facts. So love everything you said, honey. So tell everybody your story and how it shaped you into who you are today.
Oh, okay. Let's start off. I was born July 21st, 1986. I was born in Hollis, Queens, New York.
Oh, God.
So we had so with me coming from the big city and stuff like that, trying to say I'm a suburban boy. But anyway, so yeah, I came from my mother and my father had father was from Grenada, my mother was from South Carolina. They made each other in New York, and that blossomed into me and my brother being born. So they said they found a little spot in Brooklyn where my brother was born first, right by Best Stuyvesant. And then we had then when they decided to have me, they had moved over to Queens, Hollis, Queens. So I lived there until I was like 6 years old. Then I moved. My family, we moved down to Skyway, New Jersey, which is like right by New Brunswick and Plainfield, New Jersey. So I grew up right by the high school, the middle school, and the pre-K schools and all that. I lived like in a nice suburban area. So say like I said, I definitely had what you call like the regular I'd say probably the typical African American middle class childhood. Like I grew up with a minority of children. I grew up in like in a nice safe environment. Like I said, where basically you literally could like walk down the bike path late at night and not have to worry about nothing. To the point where the cops literally was like nowhere to be found. So you want to do anything that was like not quote unquote legal when you was a kid, it wasn't that hard to actually do, I would say. Now, did I do all that? No, I'm just saying for what I saw was an example of people doing that.
Okay.
So
yeah, because Eddie got some stories.
So yeah, like all my friends, like like what we did back then, you would be surprised. Like if I would have lived anywhere else, I probably would have been like, but we was typical young kids, that basically you did lose something when you were younger, whatever, but nothing like too bad. Like I mean, like I think I probably got locked up probably once as a child, or something really stupid. But I think that was like me trying to mix with the crowd and trying to have like a little rebellious stage. But I learned from that real quick, so that got over and done with very, very fast. I had my little rebellious moment for like about 2.5 seconds, so it wasn't that long. Like I said, but I grew up in
that's because Miss Julia don't play.
Oh yeah, my mother don't play it. No. She's definitely the old school down south punishment. Trust me, because I get what most kids should have gotten. I got, I wasn't even that bad as a child. So yes, I lived the typical middle class lifestyle. Like my parents, who kind of had a lot of entrepreneurship as well as in my family. The house that I grew up, the house I was born in, and I raised when I was 6 years old. My parents had kept the house, but they had rented it out. Yeah, so they kept the house under their name. So So when we moved down here,
properties.
they had rental property. So they use that rental property for many, many years. So I had kind of saw what they were doing. I thought that was an interesting way I not me to make extra money, extra income, because I always I was able to actually help them stay more afloat with their jobs. And even I had like 3 or 4 cars, not even be able to, I remember as a kid, I remember my brother used to be able to go on vacation every single year. So I said my parents definitely showed me what it meant for hard work and dedication, what it meant like to push, what it meant like to definitely like if you want something, you have to definitely go out there and strive for it. And like a lot of times, just to live comfortable, just to be, I would say, just to have peace in life, you got to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have, just like I said, if my parents, like I said, I grew up at, it was like literally you could walk down the street and you had to worry about no types of crime, no type of issues, whatever. Or if you're living in that kind of environment, that comes a certain amount of income.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know it's sad. You see some young kids, black kids out here who parents not even don't have that high financial status, but they have to live in these poor societies, these poor households. And you realize the kind of danger that these young kids are in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as crazy how society, you shouldn't be able. That shouldn't be the case. You should just be able to live anywhere you want to live and be safe and happy. But how America is and how society is basically kind of like, in order for you to even make, the more money you make, the more safer your environment is. Whether it's middle class or upper class, even the lower class, less, like I mean, less freedom, less goals, less aspirations, less advantages. So a lot of times, my parents kind of showed me that you want your kids to have you want the kids to have the best, you got to push for the best.
Exactly.
And always kind of strive your mind and thinking and doing things differently and like looking at other ways to make money and always trying to find a second source of income, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So, grew up in Piscataway.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're from.
Yeah,
you want to say you from Queens?
Well, like I said, I always took it. So whenever people ever see my social security number, it starts with a 0, because people from New York know. So I always get told, "Oh, you're not from New Jersey." I said, "Yeah, no, I'm from New York. I was born and raised in Queens." Mm-hmm. So I said, so my birth certificate says Queens, New York. So about 6 years of my life, I was a New York citizen.
Which you really don't even remember. You remember playing.
I go back there.
You remember playing outside in Bethesda or whatever. Oh, okay.
I was a black. I was right there with Biggie on. I was a black old guy. I know that area.
Okay. Let's go to the next.
I was a complete suburban boy. Trust me. I grew up my whole time. Like I literally ride bikes down the street. Trust me. I was there. But I go to New York every now and then. So I still see the old house that they had from before. So definitely. I said they definitely showed me my brother what it was for like hard work and shit. My father used to work 2 jobs a day. They 2 jobs there. My mother, she worked like a job. She went to school and got her degree when she was in almost 50. So my parents were both like hard working individuals. So I knew. So I always had like a pure blueprint to what a man was supposed to be and what a good woman was supposed to be on both angles. I think my parents must for that for actually instilling in me and my brother what is acquired of, especially the fact of us being young black men. Mm-hmm. How you gotta act, mm-hmm. How society's gonna perceive you, and how you as a man need to show them that you're better than that, and not to go with the stereotypical thing that they want you to go to. Mm-hmm. So we definitely, like I said, we had a few bumps around the road. That's life, but honestly, I'll say that I think that our upbringing, really kind of got us to the point of where we both are very stable in our lives right now. Mm-hmm. To where I got a wife right now. So like I said, I definitely had a good influence from both sides of my family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how did we meet?
Oh, well, back in the day, this is back like 2010, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
Like I said, I grew up around, central New Jersey. So I grew up around, so I lived around places like Woodbridge, Edison, what else? Woodbridge, Edison, New Brunswick, like around that area. So there was a mall called Woodbridge Mall, and I used to do security over there. So yeah, so all my little days, I worked 2 jobs at one point too, because I kind of saw from my father, so I kind of tried to get the extra income as well, which wasn't bad. Just like you just barely had no time really to sleep, but it wasn't bad. It was decent money. Mm-hmm. So one day I remember I was leaving. I was on break, and I was
in your mouth, honey.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was on break. Oh God, I was on break. And I was walking down. I was about to go get my I've been here so many years, but I was about to get some food for some area, for some restaurant, whatever that was in Woodbridge. I remember I saw this on my hair walking down with two of her little friends, right? So
it wasn't my friends; they was my coworkers.
Two of her coworkers.
I was
right?
at work.
She was at work. Yeah.
I thought he thought I was stealing because he was following me.
Cause I had on a typical I had on typical security flashlight cop with some outfit on, so she probably thought the other day she probably thought I was actually the mall security, but I actually worked at a store doing security at the store. So so I saw her, you know what I mean? So I got my Matt Daddy Denzel Moon, started to approach her. First, I come on funny and stuff, trying to act like she didn't see I was coming, but I came anyway, so I was very, very persistent.
I told you, you thought I was stealing. So.
Yeah, but I had to clear her, but so I like what I saw. So we talked. We went out, we talked, got her number after a little bit more persuasion. You know, I know she wanted me from day one, she was trying to play in front. So we had to talk, got a little persuasion. When our first date was Tilt the Kilt.
Tilt the Kilt?
Tilt the Kilt, I'm saying it so wrong. Tilt the Kilt down in off of Route 18 in New Brunswick. Probably South Brunswick, whatever. I don't know exactly where that part is.
Oh, you want to tell the story how you introduced me to your parents day one?
Really? Yeah, well, she came and picked me up.
Yeah.
So my mom, so my parents, so my mother and my stepfather was there. So I started, let me wow her a little bit. Probably could have scared her, but I wowed her a little bit by letting her meet the family. She didn't leave. See, she still stayed, so it didn't really matter. So I didn't scare you that much.
Whatever.
And then, like I said, we dated from then.
How long did we date for?
We were on and on.
What?
On and off. Me and her been relationship on and off for 6 years to be married in August 26, 2018. So yeah.
On and off?
On and off, yeah.
We're not even going to touch that subject. Okay.
Well, we could though if you want to.
Oh, what? Oh, go ahead, touch the subject, Terrell.
No, we were on and off. It was like two typical young kids who just ate. We were just young-minded and needed to grow up. But we went to the trial of this relationship, and I think that made our relationship a lot more stronger. Mm-hmm. I feel like that made us build together. I feel like that made us actually realize what we both had. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely about to tell you to kick rocks, but the day I was like, son, like I said, I knew at the end of the day, I knew if I kept coming back to you, there was something best. Yeah, like I said, my patience was very, very low.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so for me to actually keep up with that I was going through with you, I knew it had been something very, very deep with her. So I was like, you know what? I need to get my act together and actually make this official.
Okay. So, when did you decide to get married, and did you guys live together before? So I'm answering these questions. I mean, I'm asking these questions as if I'm the interviewer, but so I'll answer part of the question. We did live together first, and we're gonna touch that. But when did you decide to get married? Because it was innately you who decided.
When did I decide to get married?
Yeah.
I was like. I
feel like it was after the last breakup.
Yeah, After the last breakup, right? And we wasn't together the longest breakup we had too. I'll admit.
It was.
We had to.
It was a whole summer.
For a whole summer, a couple months, right? So, you know what I mean? We always came back to each other, so I knew it was real. But the last time we broke up, I remember we got together. I was like, you know what? I need to marry. I'm getting older now. And I said, I could tell. She ain't going nowhere. And I don't want nobody else but her. So I had to at least sit back and ask myself, like, who did I really see myself spending the rest of my life with? And I saw it with her. I can't see nobody else in my life but her. You know what I mean? So going old with dealing with me and my attitudes, I couldn't see nobody else doing it better than her.
You and your attitude.
Yeah, my attitude. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I said, I know I got my ways. I'm not gonna act like I'm the perfect individual because nobody's perfect. But I'll definitely say it was after the last breakup, and we got back together. We was like, you know what, we're not going nowhere. We need to make this official. And then on August 26, 2018, we became husband and wife. I say we lived with each other for about a year or so. So I feel like a lot of couples. I know a lot of people don't really agree, but I definitely feel like as a couple, I feel like you have to learn each other first. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I feel like you really can't. Some couples it works, but I think a lot of times when it doesn't work, I think a lot of times when I think a majority of the time when it doesn't work, it's because the fact that y'all didn't learn each other enough, y'all didn't really live with each other enough to really truly see how each other are. I truly believe you really truly understand a person once you start to move in with them. And I almost I think even if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, y'all don't really move. Y'all see each other every now and then. Living with somebody, you see that person 24/7. So a lot of things that you didn't see,
you're gonna see now.
You're gonna see now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's how you truly know a person. I always say a wife is a husband's best friend, a husband is a wife's best friend. I think y'all, nobody will ever be more intimate with you than than your wife or your husband. I feel like that's your truest. That should be your best true friend.
Facts.
I would say. So, I would say y'all gotta move together first, right? See how it is first. You think about it, y'all gonna be living together, y'all gonna be married, y'all have a family. It's already good to kind of test the worlds out first to see how everything's gonna go. I always feel like, okay, because everybody, we all got pet peeves from each other. And if you're not going to, I know some couples I know they usually they'll stay to the house every couple of days. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. not the same thing.
Nah.
Y'all have to actually live with each other.
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, you're going to work, she's going to work. Y'all at home, y'all become like and get like about a couple of weeks.
Y'all paying bills together.
Paying the bills together, yes.
Things happen together. Cars break down. Yeah, it's definitely tough.
So I always feel like that. I always feel like it's better to live together, live with each other first in the beginning because that's going to give you kind of a replay, like a preseason game of what's the story after marriage.
Yeah. Facts.
So I always say like at least y'all know each other. At least y'all, like I said, you learn certain things about each other you probably didn't know. Okay, maybe the fact, like I said, maybe okay, let's say he used to leave the toilet seat up all the time. All right. Before you didn't really care because he was in your house sometimes, that was it. Now he living with you now. So now he might be doing that every single day.
Now you got to put signs on the toilet that say, put the toilet seat down.
Yeah. So like certain things, all with your wife. Maybe, she basically, she moves your stuff around.
Really?
Maybe like you used to put something at one place, when you come around, it's gone.
It's not. It doesn't belong there though.
Because in her mind, it belongs, but you knew where you put it at the first place. So I don't know why she feel like she had to move it.
Okay.
Yeah. So certain things like we gonna get it. Women do things that annoy men. Men do things that annoy women. I admit that entirely. No gender is better. Okay. A husband, you probably have to think about your wife that you can't stand. Your wife, you probably have to think about your husband that you can't stand. It all depends on how serious is it. How serious is the issue?
Yeah.
I feel like you learn that from living with somebody in the beginning. Like we all gonna have little pet peeves by ourselves, but are you really? But is it something that you can live with? Like okay, your girl gonna have. Say your girl she probably sleeps a kind of certain way in the bed. Probably snores a lot.
I feel like you talk about me.
You do something like that.
Okay, so I like to sleep in the middle of the bed. For my whole life, I've always slept in my bed by myself. So I sleep diagonal. So sometimes when he try to get into bed at night, he gotta like push me over. But I like to sleep diagonal. What's the problem? I like to sleep diagonal.
Like I just said, you gotta learn each other first. First of all, you're so used to sleeping in one bed by yourself. Now y'all both got to share the bed now. Yeah.
But not only do we share our bed with just us, we got a little fur ball.
A little fur ball dog.
Yes. Who likes to sleep. And she sleeps with her paws out like this. So
she likes to sleep in the middle of the bed too.
Yes.
So you can imagine how I feel when I come home at night. When I gotta push everybody over just to sleep in the bed.
You'll be fine. Okay. So what's most rewarding about being married? And what's difficult about being married?
What's rewarding about being married? Yeah. I would say is I say it's the relationship, the experiences, the memories of it, the whole gradual, just living your life, just going old and living your life with somebody and evolving and maturing with that person. I feel like y'all have to grow, you have to mature with each other. And I feel like nothing's better than being with somebody while you're going through that journey. I feel like as human beings, we're not designed to be alone. I think we're designed to have a significant other with us. So I feel like it's the process, just the fact that I knew each other when y'all were young, Then I had kids together, grandchildren together. I mean, I go through some hard times together, but I still find ways to push up. I feel like it's a journey. I feel like a marriage. I feel like what makes it so great. It's why you see some couples, even when they in their 70s, 80s years old, they still look happily in love because they were able to break out of all the society's pressures and still keep whatever they had, love they had at home.
Yeah.
And they just learned that they had to just value each other, had to trust each other, which is why they got to where they got to like I said, probably 50 to 60 years anniversaries. So I feel like a lot of couples I feel like don't strive for it no more. I feel like nobody really wants to put in the hard work, hard effort of being married. So I would say that like you definitely I say y'all both should grow together. Y'all, when y'all grow together, y'all become one. And when y'all start to put start to get some selfishness, start to let the selfishness go, y'all start to see what y'all had together. A lot of times, a lot of issues in marriage, I feel like will cease if people started to actually realize it's not you no more, not just you no more, it's somebody else, you and your partner. And y'all have to always do things together.
So
y'all are supposed to be a team, I would say.
Yeah. So would you say the most difficult part is
I think learning how to just be a team.
Yeah.
I'll say, 'cause I think most of your life you're single for the most part. Or you have a relationship with somebody, it's not necessarily, and there's nothing like marriage. It's like, okay, you see each other just to have fun. I mean, it's like you probably been together for most couple of years. There's nothing really serious about it. It's all just about having fun. So it's basically you're kind of single. You're kind of by yourself, even in a marriage too. No, I mean marriage. I mean in a relationship as well. Like I said, I always feel like there's a big difference between a relationship and marriage. So I would say that like now you're one. So now it's like, okay, yeah, I used to be able
to just
do whatever I wanted, leave, do whatever I wanted. That kind of bothers you as a man. You had a little bit more freedom. So now you're looking like, well, I got to tell this woman for my mother at home, so I got to tell her for. I'll say that much.
Whatever.
Then you got your wife basically like, once they get control, once they get your house now, they fight their own certain type of stuff. So you got to try to fight for that to keep whatever space you have in here.
What do I feel like I own?
This whole house you feel like you own.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I just need it to be clean. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'll say it's the compromise. The compromise, I'll say, actually be trying to learn how to become one with each other. It's not a hard thing to do. Most people feel like they're so stuck in their ways. They think about, I need to be selfish. I need to just be for me. And they feel like, and to lose that kind of power of just being for you scares a lot of people. Yeah. But I feel like you can't. Honestly, I feel like you can't be. You really can't be. You should be whole by yourself, most definitely. And I feel like a lot of people. I feel like if you're whole, you know who you are, and you do a lot of self-improvement, self-growing yourself. That transition from learning how to compromise somebody else and become one with somebody else wouldn't be such a hard thing. But because you have so many past problems in your life that you haven't let go, you're trying to hold on to whatever essence you have of yourself left. A lot of people, I feel like because they're past persons, their past issues, relationships, they probably never had they couldn't trust nobody. They get hurt to somebody, they got broken. Listen, which is life, you know what I mean? That's just something you got to do it. You get better as you get older. You learn better, you learn from your mistakes. But I feel like, and then I feel like I said, I feel like we're designed to be, we're not designed to grow old by ourselves. We're designed to be with somebody. To be happy with somebody and let all that negative, all that stuff, superficial things that don't even matter. You need to take that to the side and just worry about what the foundation has right here. And that's between you and your wife, and vice versa.
So, do you feel like we have a good support system in our marriage? I got something to say about this.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like everybody's pro Terrell. Like everybody, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my cousins, my friends, everybody's pro Terrell. Nobody's pro me. I don't like that. Nobody's pro me. Everybody's pro you. Kelly, what did you do? Why is Terrell upset?
No, like that's on her side of thing. On my side of thing, everybody love Kelly. Everybody love Kelly. So like I said, it's definitely everybody's for this relationship. We don't have nobody trying to break this relationship down.
No.
We definitely have a strong support system because I think when you come from people who actually have been married, come from a married, all my friends I grew up with, almost all of them are married now, and one's getting married.
Yeah.
So I come from a family that, like I said, I came from a background that like marriage was very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like I came like all my friends came from 2-parent households.
Mm-hmm.
So the husband and wife and that scenario was prevalent with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that always was in my mind as a young boy that I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a family, and so since I come from a environment of people that at the end of the day they believe in that and they don't see that and they don't want to ever destroy that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I feel like you have to definitely keep your friends. You got to come across. You got to be around positive people.
Mm-hmm.
People that actually kind of want the same goals, aspirations that you have, because that's going to eliminate a lot of the issues that you'll have later on in life about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're with people who you have common goals with and common hobbies with, it makes the transition a lot more easy, and then like you will have less stress than the people who have like people who are just like always against what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I come from a family where everybody was about marriage and having a family, not having kids, and doing it the right way, and vice versa. So we did. So it was just inevitable for me to get to this point where I'm at right now.
Okay. So, is there any point of our dating period, our engagement, or marriage that you could relive, that you would go back to?
Any dating point?
Yeah, like dating, the engagement, or marriage. I think I would go back and change some things. Like, if I could go back, we wouldn't have that big wedding. We would just elope somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would change. What about you?
I don't believe it changes anything. I feel like that's your story. I feel like that's what made y'all.
Maybe we could have saved a whole lot of money.
Yeah, yes, you could have, but would that money really at the end of by the time we went to buy it, at the end of the day, would that money really have mattered? All that money would have got done, that would got spent for something else that we done been got passed from already that we don't really need anymore. I feel like you should never really like. There's certain things you would have wanted to do better, yes, but a lot of times I feel like what molds you, I feel like is what you go through. So I feel like a lot of times I feel like you should never really be too ashamed about your past, because you wouldn't be where you're at today a lot of times. But at the end of the day, like, it may sound bad, it may sound good, but that's your story, and that's what you had to go through to get to where you need to get to. Like, it's not where you start, it's not where you start off. It's always about where you finish.
Right.
So I feel like everybody got an amazing story that they need to tell, and that was your story. Your story might have been like, okay, yeah, you could have did this better, okay, yeah, but you still gonna treasure the moment. You still gonna treasure that time that y'all spent together. You're still gonna treasure the marriage. So I feel like even though you might be, I could have been a little better with the money, but it doesn't really matter no more, because whatever money you daily lose doing that, you got that back plus interest.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll say greatest of my life. Like I said, like my grandfather had said with my grandmother when my grandfather had passed away from complications of diabetes. So he was on dialysis and stuff like that. I remember he said they asked him what was the greatest day of his life, and he said the day that he married my grandmother. So I would say I feel the same way that he feels. The greatest day of my life was the day I married my wife.
No. Okay, let's get back to the interview. You messing my hair. All right. What I was gonna say. Where we at? We're right here. All right. Yes. We're going to skip that question for right now. All right. So, what made you start a business with your lovely, beautiful wife over here? What made you start a business with me?
Because I said we both got tired. Well, I still kind of do it now because we're getting the business up afloat. But we started saying, I think we both, me and my wife, both sat down and was looking like, okay, like I go to work every day, do 40 hours a week, and then some, right?
Yeah.
I get told when I gotta ask to go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting stipulated about what certain kind of money that I can afford. And like, when you look at it at the end of the day, like, you're basically spending your time and effort to make somebody else rich. who honestly doesn't really care about you, or you are just asking because if they didn't want to deal with you no more, they'll just get somebody else to replace you.
Facts.
So I like to understand why you would. I get it. You need to hustle. You need to make your money. I get that. I understand you need to survive. I don't not nobody who does that. I'm still doing it to this day. But I always feel like people. I feel like we need to try to establish more. Like what do you want to like? You want like my mother always say. You should always as an individual. You should always be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. So if you're working every day for 40 hours a week and you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor, you need to find a different occupation.
Facts.
And I feel like even if you had like a well-paying job, you're still under control of somebody else. Whether you're a lawyer or a doctor, whatever the case may be, it's like high-quality jobs, but lawyers and doctors can't go on vacation whenever they want. They're doing 12, 15-hour days. They barely see their family. They barely see their friends. Mm-hmm. You're still under somebody else's demands. So I feel kind of like when you're an entrepreneur, when you own your own business, that's you're your own boss. Yeah. So you decide whether or not whenever you want to go on vacation. If you don't want to go to work that day, you cannot do that. Yeah. You decide how many hours you want to work. Mm-hmm. You decide how much your money is going to get spent. Know what I mean, for things that you need, like down the line, like whatever house, whatever. I said you have more. Your wealth, your salary, your ability to establish currency increases. Mm-hmm. You're not under just one currency. Like I remember my mother was telling me how when you get paid, me as a kid, I'm 10 years old, I'm thinking like, my mom getting paid salary? That's great. Not knowing at the end of the day that when they pay you salary, let's say, okay, yeah, you got a young brother and woman making $60K a year. You getting like I said, you're not like I said. That's you get $60K a year. That's it. Yeah. Which means that at the end of the day, overtime, you're not getting paid for that.
Nope.
So basically, if you're a salary individual, so I know a lot of people are. All that 12, 13 hours that you're doing every single week is free money to them. Mm-hmm. And most of those salary jobs I feel like a lot of companies are slick about it because think about it, most salary jobs, they gonna have you working long hours.
Yeah.
That's why they pay you salary. Because they paid you hourly, they wouldn't be able to keep you afloat because they'd be spending too much money. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm always saying like she get the regular. My mom, so much younger, she said that she said she'll get it. That's all she's paid them. So if she's supposed to make $5,000 a month, that's all she gonna get paid.
Yeah.
And she used to do 12 10-hour days. She used to do 60 plus hours a week.
That's crazy.
All she ever got every single month was what she supposed to get. That $5,000 a month. So it's like you always kind of like on the. You always like they always trying to find ways to contain you while the corporate dudes, the ones that are telling you to go work every day and have hard work. He's basically at a golf course playing golf while you in that cubicle or that warehouse or that place sweating in like getting muscle cramps and and like fatiguing yourself.
I can't.
While he's somewhere just sitting relaxing. He's just sitting there. He makes money off of making decisions and management skills.
Yeah.
But he's making all his money off of your labor.
Mm-hmm. So, in a nutshell, we want to be our own boss.
Yeah, we want to be our own boss, basically. So I feel like if I'm going to sweat, if I'm going to bleed, it would be because I'm working for what my family's going to strive off of, what my family's going to live off of. I feel like everybody should do the same thing. I feel like you should be working for. You work to make your life as pleasant as possible, not to make somebody else's life as pleasant as possible. Because you only got one life to live. So I definitely I'll say that like it's nothing like being your own boss. It's definitely a hard hurdle to get there. Trust me, and I get the struggle is real. But like at the end of the day, you look at any successful businesswoman or businessman that's ever said, it don't feel like work no more after you're doing something that you love to do. Mm-hmm. It doesn't because it's a passion.
Yeah. So, how's your experience working with your significant other, your wife? How's that experience? I'm watching you.
How's experience?
How's that experience to work with me in businesses? Businesses.
I definitely say when it comes to business, I definitely say you gotta be able. You gotta put a line between the business aspect and the marriage aspect. Mm-hmm. So whatever issues y'all having in business shouldn't affect your marriage. when any issue you're having in marriage should affect your business. I said that's the best way to do it. Okay. Is it easy? No, definitely ain't easy. You're a human being, so you're gonna make a little bit of hurdles every day. You're gonna stumble through a few hurdles every now and then. Mm-hmm. But I think I would say you have to actually learn how to have that balance between the two.
Okay. So, how's your experience working with your wife though?
It was just a couple turning points. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I will say my wife is definitely a strong-willed woman. She definitely likes to speak her piece. She definitely likes to have things her way. So I will say that me and her, how I think about money and how she thinks about money is two different things. I'll say that. I'm more of the analytical, logical person, and she's more of like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. We're like, no, we got to figure out what our money is right now, and we have to kind of make the best financial decision. So yes, I say dealing with her and her antics sometimes can be overwhelming. But that's the joys of being married and just learning and just growing with your significant other, I would say. Mm. But I always say like, yeah, just the money aspect is probably really the issue. I think we definitely know how to split the business and the marriage part separate. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have to. I feel like in order for that to work, I feel like y'all have to learn how to prioritize certain things. I feel like it can definitely work out for both of you.
All right. So, tell me about your what responsibilities do you hold in our businesses? You kind of just said it. You kind of handle.
I take care of the financial aspect of it. What's going to get, like what's paid for this, what's paid for that. What does the money look like? You know what I mean? How to afford this, how to afford that. I look at it. I'm like an analytical, logical type of person. So I look at things from like more of a mathematical concept. So basically, yeah. So it's like I'm a little bit more of the. I think you gotta have the emotional side and the rational side. I think to actually grow a business. Mm-hmm. Emotional side you gotta have it for the vision. To actually look to have the vision to look in the future and see further. Yeah. And to have the aspiration to actually have a dream to be able to see yourself at a certain level. But you also got to have the rational side to be like, okay, yeah, this is what I need to do to get to this level. And this is where I'm at right now. Yeah. And I feel like that's the perfect duo for a business to grow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to get back to the relationship questions, right? Mm-hmm. So in your opinion, what do you think is the most important thing that everyone should think about before they get married?
Most important thing, I would say?
Yeah, most important.
I would say is before you walk to that altar, before you hear those words from your other and you send it and you respond back, before you hear, what do you call that
the wedding vows?
Yeah, before you hear the wedding vows, even if you decide to write your wedding vows, I will say this. After you write them, even before you say them, sit down hard and think to yourself, how willing are you to live by those words? Mm. I would say that. Like my mother used to say, like, when you say, I do, and death do us part, how much do you really mean those words? Now, like I said, it's good to say it, but how much do you really mean it? I would say.
Exactly.
Definitely. How much, like when they say, when the significant other is sick, are you willing to go to the hospital every single day? Are you willing to let's say a wife or your husband does something doesn't hurt you? Are you willing to go to counseling and really see what's going on with the problem, like see what's going on in your marriage? Really dig deep into each other and figure out what you guys might have sidetracked from each other. Are you really willing to put in the extra work to actually succeed to death do us part? Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, they read the vows, they say them, but they don't really believe them.
Yeah.
I think back in the day, I think it kind of was, a lot of people always say that it's like like a lot of times women like they kind of had no choice what the case would be. But I feel like to a certain extent that might have been the case. But a lot of times when you listen to a lot of these couples back then, I feel like they actually believed that back then marriage divorce was shown upon. But I think a lot of times you realize that even through all the hard times they've been through, that love still was there to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of times I feel like that love was always there. I feel like you might have some couple that just couldn't stand each other. Okay, true. But I think out of all of those, I think all the ones that just stick with each other just because I feel like a lot of them actually were like, actually like that love was like strong until they both it's like they both close their eyes. I would say. So I definitely would say that. Do you believe in words that you say? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to put in the extra time and effort to keep that relationship going?
Yeah. Okay. So, what are the biggest arguments that we have in our relationship and in business? Like, what are they usually about?
Money.
Listen, this is the real deal. They do be about money, though.
Yeah, money.
Either somebody
that's the main argument.
Either somebody spending too much money.
I spend for things that are important to me, and it never ever affects any of our money at all. So I don't know what the problem is.
Okay, whatever. I just like to go on vacation. So it is what it is. All right. So what are some of the biggest pain points we've been dealing with these days with COVID?
Oh, just with the whole time, everybody's in frantic, everybody's scared, so it's kind of hard to really like get in touch with people. Some people don't really want to see you because they're afraid that they might get COVID-19. Mm-hmm. You try, you really can't try. You really can't open up like an actual business event too much because you got to keep to a certain number, and most people are not going to go outside anyway.
Yeah.
So I definitely say that definitely had a big impact on how you make money nowadays, definitely because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
But I'll say it's just circumstances, just how it is right now. I think most people are actually having problems. Mm-hmm. Now it's like I know me, like jobs that I have, I work for I'm an essential worker, so that's why I've still been working ever since the whole time COVID thing has happened. But most people, if you was an essential worker, you've been on unemployment all this time. Yeah. So everybody took like a really big hit from this pandemic. So
yeah, but for real estate, it's been really good for us. Mm. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are more likely to have
selling homes. They want to get out of Jersey. They want to leave. Mm-hmm. So it's been really good. Real estate wise, mm-hmm. The business shower, we can't do an event right now.
Because of the whole entire COVID situation.
Yes, but we will be doing a virtual event sometime this year. So be on the lookout for that. All right. So let's get back to the questions here. So who are 3 people that influenced you, Mr. Edwards?
3 people? Mm-hmm. Well, there's like a lot of people in my life that's kind of influenced me. I would definitely have to say you was one. I would say that.
I influenced you? How so?
I think you influenced me to actually think further than just working 9 to 5 and just working long enough to get a pension and just go old and get Social Security and stuff like that. I definitely say you have me looking more higher for bigger aspirations. So I definitely say you influenced me that way.
Okay.
Then I would say a really prominent YouTube contenter. I'll say Ron Wills.
Uncle Ron.
I'll say he definitely influenced me because he's definitely showing me a lot of things that I didn't really hear a lot growing up. Definitely about self-improvement for young Black men and getting better and getting looking at extra sources of income, trying to establish multiple wealth, trying to establish generational Black wealth. Mm-hmm. I think I'll say he inspired me. Mm-hmm. And I will say there are a lot of people, but I would say who's really I would say there was this I know a lot of people might have heard him too much, but it's an African American inventor named Percy LaVon Julian, who I actually came across one time just looking online with her. I'm an avid person. I like to read about history and stuff like that. I'm really always been a big biography reader. So there's a guy named Percy LaVon Julian. He was one of the richest young Black men at one point. back in the like in the early 1930s and 40s. If I'm not mistaken. I think he definitely showed me what it means, how no matter, it don't matter where you start off at, all that matters is where you finish.
Mm.
Like, he was a young black male who was born in 1899 back in Indiana, back in those days, during the Jim Crow era. Mother and father were both school teachers. Back in those days, they only allowed for you, as a black person, you only allowed to even have an 8th grade college, 8th grade, you only allowed to go up to the 8th grade level. Mm-hmm. So anything besides that, so in order for a young black male, young black girl to go to school, you had to literally keep taking the same class over and over and over again, which was ridiculous back then. So he actually got accepted to what kind of place was called, to a university in Indiana, and where he basically was had to compete with white students who had been going to Ivy League, going to Catholic and public schools, and and actually graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. And he had to literally go there with only an 8th grade education, take 8th grade about 4 or 5 times, just because he loved to learn. Yeah. So, so he had that on top of him. So he had that. So he had to overcome all that. Plus the fact he had to overcome actually getting there. Number one, find something to eat. Number two, had to basically, I think he had to actually literally sleep in the attic because he couldn't sleep with the white kids because you know how it was back then. But after those 4 years of him being there, even though he had to catch up with everybody else, I think he said he had to take a college courses on top of a high school courses as well. So he had to literally catch up with them on top of taking their same caseload. And at the end of the 4 years, he basically graduated summa cum laude and graduated first in his class.
That's what's up.
And then he became he created a lot of the hormone birth control pills like that, such as that we have to this day. And came from just being a chemist, research chemist on his own company, and selling his company when he got to a ripe old age for a couple $1 million. So he died a very wealthy man. I think he definitely kind of instilled in me showing that determination and persistence and being hardworking and seeing better for yourself will always will always get you to where you need to go. Mm-hmm. And even if you was the father, even if you was the grandson or the grandson or the son of a slave, did not determine where your life would be later on. Okay. So I definitely say he definitely influenced me.
All right. So we know that entrepreneurship is a tough road. How do you stay motivated? How do you keep your wife motivated? Because you already know how I am.
Yeah. Like I was talking about with the guy, with him, you definitely gonna hit hurdles in life. That's guaranteed. And you're gonna forget it. You're not gonna want to work hard no more. But you gotta understand that, like I said, I always feel I always look to him for inspiration. Cause I always look at it. Okay, he was a young black boy who basically only had an 8th grade college, only had an 8th grade education. Went to a school that had kids who were one of the only a handful of black students that were actually accepted into that college, and had to literally put on all that workload, and he still found ways to persevere and outbeat all of them. So I see that when you look at a lot of our grandparents, and our great grandparents, them people had to literally fight tooth and nail just to survive. Yeah. And they lived the most heinous ways of living because of what the color of your skin was. And these people really try ways to honestly make these people make these people just want to give up. Right? So it's so I was like if you could survive back then, we can survive now. Yeah. Definitely back in the class. I always feel like if you because it's always been trust, believe, somebody always got it worse than you. So I always say you always gotta strive for better. Always gotta just keep pushing. Always gotta just have hope that things will get better.
Okay. So, what advice would you give somebody who wants to start a podcast, a series of events, or a real estate company?
I say just do it.
Yeah,
don't
pretty
think
much.
twice about it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do
but
it.
I definitely will say that. Don't leave your job just yet.
No.
No. Get out because you're gonna need money to.
Yeah, it ain't. As well. It ain't
so I always
free.
say yes. I always say you're gonna have to. I always say have a little job on the have a job on the side.
Mm-hmm.
To struggle. No, I mean,
and you're gonna need your credit at the beginning, so you gotta make sure that your credit is up to par.
Don't just make that. Some people have done it, but the chances are you'll be successful at doing it that way. I ain't gonna chance that because I gotta live. So I don't feel like being on the street.
I can't.
So I would definitely say but I definitely would say just go for it. Mm-hmm. You inspired to do it. Go ahead and do it. Like I said, but just come with a plan, map a plan out. Always make certain goals that you like little small goals that you want to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And don't think twice about it. Just go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I say just be very, very just thinking through every aspect. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Nothing wrong with taking risks as long as it's calculated risk. I always say. So it's a risk, but you don't look at every variable and then made it as efficient as possible. That the chances of whether it fails or not, isn't going to be that detrimental to you as overall. I would say.
Mm-hmm. So, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Where I get my younger self, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I should always believe in myself. Mm-hmm. I would tell him that. I think if I could look back at him and talk to him, I would tell him like anything you the things you thought about yourself when you were younger wasn't the truth. You should have. You probably, like I said, you was actually better than that. Mm-hmm. I would say, like I said, my self-esteem was never really that bad. I would say, but I definitely feel like I didn't reach a certain level in life. I feel like I didn't really truly believe I could actually do it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the self-doubt was definitely strong back then for me when I was younger. So I'll tell my younger self now that let all that self-doubt go and just go after whatever you want. I would tell him.
Okay. All right. So if money wasn't an option, what would you do every day?
If money wasn't an option?
Yeah.
Always been into poetry and reading and writing. Always been like a hobby of mine. It's always been a love that I've always had. So, I would say that. Okay. Sports, typical stuff that most guys do, I would say. Mm-hmm. But definitely always been into poetry, around reading and writing and reading. I've always been a little library nerd as a kid. Mm-hmm. I love the library. I literally have my own library card. I used to go there almost all the time. I always loved to expand my mind. Always did so. I definitely always. I feel like that's a hobby I'm gonna keep to the day I finally close my eyes. I'm always gonna read.
Yeah.
Like I said. So I'm like that's like I
guys. He used to write me poems. He don't write me poems no more.
Yeah, it was always a persuasion, fellas. It's all about talking to her, getting inside her head, making her think about you more often. Always in the game.
Oh, okay. So you used the fact of poetry to get me, and now you got me. Now you're not gonna write me no more poetry. How about I want a poetry letter on Valentine's Day?
I'll think about it. The words are still there. Like you never lose that talent at all. So I can definitely think of something.
Well, yeah, you should. You should think of something. Okay, so what generational curses have we already broken, and what curses do we plan on breaking in the future?
Generational curses?
Yeah.
I think I'd be more with you. You say, right?
Yeah. I mean, but you still have some curses. I mean, marriage is one from my side of the family. I mean, there are some people on my side of the family that have broken some generational curses, but yeah, marriage, degrees, just a lot of stuff. I'm not going to tell Tamara's secret, but Tamara got a secret. She just broke a big generational curse in our family. Hopefully one day she says something about it, but who knows? But yeah, so what generational curses do we plan to break in the future?
Oh, it was basically like how it is with most black lineages, it's just a fact of keeping that bloodline strong, you know what I mean, like trying to end the single parent household, trying to bring young black women and young black men together to realize in the day that you guys are one and you guys should strive to have this love and this, you know what I mean, and this, y'all should strive to stop fighting each other so much, but actually try to actually work together. I feel like when you start to have a battle between the woman and the man, the race is gone. So I feel like that's where a lot of our issues are now. Like we're constantly fighting each other over things that honestly his name ain't the men's fault, ain't the women's fault. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's both sides. It's the fact of just both sides from what society has instilled in them to be. Is what's causing such an issue now. So I will say that just like as a young black man, like okay, you gotta think about it. I always look at it like this, and it's how I always been when I was a kid. It was like, okay, society sees me as this. I'm a criminal. I'm gonna deal with drugs. The only thing I'm good for is living in a jail cell. Only thing I'm good for is having multiple baby mamas and not taking care of them. Only thing I'm good for is just to cause more hurt and grief to my people, to my women and to my children. So I think as a young black male, that's how I think I want to tell a lot of young black men now is that society already sees you as being something that you're honestly not. But I think you've been told, and I've had this as well, but I think all because I grew up in a middle class environment where my mother and my father both was like telling me, you are a young black man, you special, like you better than this. So I've always had more of a higher esteem of myself. I always kind of was told from my background with my father and my mother basically was that you're gonna be better than that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of young black boys, I think they're not really told that, you're special. You're a king.
Yeah.
And that whatever they say about you isn't the truth. And you can strive to be better than them.
Yeah.
You've allowed us to try to be better than them. And that you're worth more than just what society labels you to be. You're worth to be a great father. You're worth to to not be in jail. You're worth to not to not have multiple baby mothers. You're worth more than that. You're worth to be great. You're worth to have an influence and impact on this world. You're worth a lot of things. And for the young girl, the young women, say that you're beautiful. Your femininity is strong. You're special. You
don't have to.
You don't have to do half these things that these people are telling you to do. Because you have, I think a lot of black women also have young black women have a stereotypical style on them as well. But both of y'all have to work together. Young black men, young black women have to both work together to kill that curse. To let them know that y'all saying this about me, but I'm not gonna be that way. And I feel like once you learn that, once you understand that I always feel like a lot of kids, I always feel like with me, I guess always like my parents, like they always made sure that me and my brother went. I always feel like it's all about exposure and invite you to your environment experiences. I feel like the reason why I'm able to think the way I think is because I grew up in an environment where like my parents and us went, like my mother, my father, and my brother and us went to vacation every single year. I lived in a minority, middle class environment. So I got to see different parts of life. I got to see people of different walks of life. I got to see the father who was a secretary, was like a purchase agent at a L'Oreal or something like that. I got to see a father who was a mechanic. I got to see the dynamic of the nuclear family. I got to see the mother and the father. I got to see what life was like. I got to see from my friends' parents and vice versa that this is what life's supposed to be and this is what life could be. But let's say I was a young black child who grew up in the less fortunate areas. And all I see was single mother households. And the only really successful black men I see are drug dealers. I'm not gonna be able to think no higher than that. So because of my parents, because what they did was I love them for to the day is that they basically gave me the opportunity from their blood, sweat, and tears to be able to look at life differently and be able to see be able to pick, be able to actually have a choice to actually choose where I want my life to head to, instead of just feeling like I have no choice but to go down this route.
So what do you say to the young black boys who don't have that opportunity?
I'll definitely say try to get part of a Big Brother program. I definitely also tell young boys start listening to inspirational black men like Uncle Ron Wills. Ron Wills off his YouTube channel. I would say C Boogie Productions. C Boogie off his YouTube channel.
Oh God.
I would say a lot. I would say him. Cousin T to all of them. They're all about male self improvement.
Yeah, they are.
About black men, and men in general, just becoming the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely tell a lot of young black boys who live in that kind of environment, listen to brothers like them. Mm-hmm. Or like I said, or become a part of like a big brother program. Try to get like more positive male role models. Mm-hmm. Try to stay away from the streets and from them negative folks. Mm-hmm. And definitely, you know what I mean. I say read more. I say instead of reading, so look at social media all day. Look at actually go to the library and get a book. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like knowledge is power. The more you expand your mind, the more you're able to see. Mm-hmm. So I definitely also young black boys, just to try to direct your attention towards positive people. Mm-hmm. I'll say definitely try to look up some good content creators who are going to teach you how to be a black man, how to be a strong black male individual, and how to be able to be the best man that you can be. I'll definitely tell you guys to definitely hit up those subscribers, hit up those YouTube contenters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, couple questions left. So, what's the vision for our future, hun?
We about to be like Josie and Weezy. We about to get up to we call it again.
Moving on up
to the seaside, or no, the east side, right?
No, we're gonna be moving to South Jersey.
Yeah.
That's where we're moving to.
We're moving to South Jersey.
Yes.
In a house.
We need space.
We need space, yes.
A lot of space.
I'm getting tired of the Bloomfield atmosphere. Trust me. You gotta worry about all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, it's not crazy.
It's not a bad neighborhood, but you gotta have to.
It's just you're on top of one another. Mm-hmm. Like your neighbors.
But I said we had different.
You gotta argue low.
That's why I said. That's always said. That's always said. I love my marriage factor. Like I heard my mother and my father had the same story. When you look at people when they're married, you see that when it's done right. Sometimes like my parents had divorced, but like I said, but they still best friends to this day. So I feel like even if that does happen, the actual choice, that's what really shows how successful a marriage actually is how you guys end up after the fact. If y'all ever have to split ways, y'all still remain strong friends. Y'all been together for so many years. So it'd be a shame to let that go and fight each other. So I always say because things happen. But I feel like when you look at couples, like when you hear about them, I always say it's a journey. You hear about the couple like when they first got together, they had a little small apartment, small city apartment. Oh, and we did. Then they moved to a bigger apartment. Yeah. Then eventually they got a house. That's the next step. Eventually they had all that. So I mean, you see if it's done right, you'll see the improvement. You'll see the enhancement of a couple. Mm-hmm. And usually you see couples that actually move like that and actually get better and better as time goes on. Mm-hmm. They generally tend to last longer. Even if they do end a divorce, they usually want to actually last over 20 years. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of times, I feel like y'all stay too stagnant with each other. That's what causes a lot of the grief and a lot of the resentment. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I say just generational black wealth. Mm-hmm. Be able to actually put our mark on this world, put our mark on black communities as well as any other minority community and the white community as well. Yeah, y'all see. Get our voice heard. Shirt. Get our voice heard.
Black real estate investor. That's what we are. Yep. So, exactly. All right. So, before we wrap up, we got to ask the signature question. Mm-hmm. You are a guest on the show, so I have to ask the signature question. Mm-hmm. So, what is something unique that nobody knows about you? And this better not be something that I don't know, okay? Because I should know everything.
What's unique about me?
Yeah. That nobody knows.
I don't know. What is it you want to know about me?
I don't know.
I'm very transparent about certain things. So what's about me that somebody doesn't know about me?
Yeah, the people don't know because I know everything. Oh. Everything.
I really don't. I'm trying to think.
This is a hard question for everyone.
I'm trying to think. What is unique about me?
TikTok.
I'm trying to think. I probably, like I said, I was breached as a baby. I was that one thing, actually. So supposedly, my mother had told me that I was so hard-headed that I didn't want to turn. So I was like a breech baby. So I would say that
we both were
breech baby. So I would say that. Yeah. But I would say with me, I would say like yeah, not really. I would say maybe this might be a character flaw of myself, but I don't really see nothing really unique about. I really that nobody else will know about me. I'm very, very transparent. Very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like other than that part, there's kind of I get cursed at the day by my mother for not being hard headed, not coming out the right way. That's the only thing I was. She said it.
Yeah, she really did.
That's about getting pregnant. So she was too hard. I was hard headed from birth. So yeah, I say bit poetry, the readings like that.
You're still hard headed, honey.
Yeah, I admit that. I never changed that about me. I love that about myself. So. That's me. That's my individual blueprint, man. That's my individual DNA. I'm gonna have certain kind of things about me about my personality traits that's gonna cause me to act a certain type of way.
The cancer.
You wouldn't love me if I wasn't this way.
I'm surrounded by these cancer men. It's just, oh my God. Anyway, so before we wrap up.
Oh, I would say something. I could say like me and Robert Williams had the same birthday.
Everybody would know that because you just said it. You said your birthday was July 21st.
Yeah. But everybody know Robert Williams' birthday.
Oh.
Okay. So that's unique about me. I had a birthday of a celebrity, a couple celebrities on top of that. So I mean, my birthday is very, very unique. Ooh. I just had to put that out there.
Okay. Anyway, so do you have any questions for me, honey?
Questions for you?
Yes. Don't ask me no difficult question.
So what was have you told them your story?
Yeah, they heard my story before. They heard my story before, right? Grew up in Orange, New Jersey. Yeah, they know that. Raised by grandmother.
What made you decide to own two businesses?
I just wanted to do both things. I wanted to do, we wanted to do the real estate thing, and then the business shower events. That was something that, me and Mia had that conversation, and I decided to just go forth and do it. So I didn't want to pick one. I didn't want to say, I want to do this one now and do this one later. So I just went and did them both at the same time. Yeah. So we had the conversation. You said, go for it. And I was like, all right. I went for it. Yep. So, all right, everybody. So again, our Instagram handles and Facebook handles and all of that will be in the comment section. And that is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you, honey, for being on the show with me. If you guys want to see more of this, would you do a show with me?
Of course.
Oh, really?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, right.
I would.
You said it real slow. Of course.
I would.
Of course. No, I won't. No, once the camera stops, well, this is it for me. But thank you very much for doing the show with me. And that is a wrap for today's episode. Peace.